What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Up north at the cabin, this is the view that I got here. So this has kind of been my home base for the past week. But little editing station over there. There's no internet, so I have to hotspot to my phone every single time. And so it's gonna take like 3 days to upload a video. But we got one uploading right now. But this is the view off the front porch. Right out to the lake. We're out on a point. There's a dock down there. We got another dock over here that's got my dad's boat and then normally a jet ski, but pull the jet ski out because it's past Labor Day. You know, that's the thing up north. After Labor Day, pull all the docks out, get the jet skis out, get the boat out. Winter's coming. That's just a thing that we do up here, but man, the fishing's getting pretty dang good. But anyway, got a fireplace. So that fireplace used to be right there. We actually hacked it out of there, drug it outside, and then my dad was like, yeah, that'd be a good fire pit. So next thing you know, taking it from over there all the way to there, now we can have fires in it. So yeah, it's kind of, this is the cabin. You know, this is, like I said, this has been home base. This is home base every time I come up north and fish around up here. And it's a little brisk out today. You know, it's September up north and it was like 52 degrees this morning. So what did I do? I went and jumped in the lake to wake myself up right away this morning. So it felt super refreshing. But yeah, this is walking out on the deck, you know, off the porch. You know, that thing right there, we put corn cobs on it and watch the squirrels go nuts. And it's absolutely hilarious watching them flip up and down on that thing. So it's good. But we are getting ready for my last Bassmaster Open of the season, which will be Crosse. That's about 3 hours from here. So getting stuff rigged up. I got most of the stuff that I want to throw already rigged up, but we're gonna get some stuff ready, tie some stuff up, and then we hit the road. It's Friday right now, so practice actually starts tomorrow. I'll get into that in a second. Walking into the garage here. And there it is. The boat actually fits in here pretty dang good. We got a strip of lights right down the top. Yeah, it's a dang good setup. I ain't complaining. Super thankful that my dad lets me come here and crash and take over the place while he's working real hard at the insurance agency. So I'm gonna get in here, rig up some rods, and get after it. All right, so let's break it down. The Mississippi River's pools 7, 8, and 9 out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Very large part of the river. I mean, 9 is probably one of the longest pools. I think 10 is actually the longest pool, but 9's one of them. 8's a massive pool with a tons of backwater areas, you know, the Goose Island area, and then you have the Black River in there too, so just another part, and there's a bunch of other sloughs. And then 7, you got the lake. You got Lake on Alaska and all the fingers that flow into there from the north, creating a bunch of sand drops. There's grass everywhere, stumps. There's more cover to throw at in 7, 8, and 9 than you can shake whatever kind of rod you want at. Very vast fishery. You know, growing up in Wisconsin, I have fished a fair amount of tournaments over there. Haven't had the best finishes in La Crosse. When I used to travel over there for BFLs, I stuck to pool 8. Not being from there, I only gave myself 3 days of practice every single time I was over there and just stuck to pools 8 because it's huge and there's a lot to look at. I mean, you got the whole Goose Island area, which is a maze, and it's got sand drops, you got cut banks, you got slop, stumps, you know, like endless. You have so much stuff to look at. And then you take in consideration the main river stuff. You got wing dams, you got current breaks, you got, you know, more sand drops, you know, all of that kind of stuff. There's always things to look at every single pool. Last year when I fished the Invitational was the first time I actually launched my boat in pool 7, knowing that, you know, just in recent past that the size fish in pool 7 have been bigger. So I spent majority of my practice trying to figure out the fish on pool 7. And ended up finding a couple schools, ended up sharing a school with a guy, and he did really well. And I just couldn't get him to bite. He had it figured out better than I did. And I think in that tournament, I was the worst finishing angler from Wisconsin, and I finished like 69th place or something like that. So That wasn't a good one. I caught a limit. I mean, the amount of fish that you catch over there, that's the part that I'm really looking forward to, though, is like you can catch a pile of them. And I think, what was it, like the second day of practice last year, by 7:30 in the morning, I already set the hook on 30-some fish. I mean, granted, a lot of them were like 10 to 12 inches and a couple keepers here and there, but still, you catch a pile of fish. The river is ever changing. And that's another part that you just have to take in consideration. Some areas where you could run last year, you might not be able to run this year, just because of, floods, that sand and everything that moves. I mean, I've seen whole islands disappear from current hitting it so hard, so it's something that you have to take into consideration as things change. Having the history that I have in La Crosse, and like I said, it's not a great history. I haven't done super fantastic there. Going in and fishing all the BFLs like I did, I considered it a win if I finished in like the top 30, because majority of the field was all guys that live close to that river and only fish that river or that division of the BFLs. And I traveled around and fished all over the state, every single body of water that I could, to try and make myself a more well-rounded angler. But in certain situations like that, it hurt me. But that being said, I don't want to give myself 4.5 days of practice over there. I've given myself 4.5 days of practice in every single, except for St. Clair. I did not go out on the half day because we had the hurricane blowing through. Every single open, I have given myself the full 4.5 days of practice, practicing daylight to dark, giving it everything I got, unless my batteries died. My intentions going out every single time, daylight to dark, every hour on the water that I could. And it just hasn't worked out. It's spun me out more often this year than it's helped me. So I'm taking a different approach, especially on a place that I've been on before. Navigation is still going to be tricky. Like I said, things change, so you got to take your time putting around. But I've always been able to find pretty good populations of fish over there with 3 days of practice. Granted, different field, different situation, different year, but I have, after this whole season of being my worst tournament season that I have ever had, the one thing that I've learned is I'm really good at breaking down bodies of water in short amount of time. But when I give myself more time than that, I spin myself out. And like I get my wheels turning too much and I get too locked into what I caught them in practice doing, instead of fishing the moment and fishing free and just trusting your gut instincts to go catch bass. And that's something that I did in the invitationals, did okay in the invitationals. I wouldn't say I did stellar, didn't set the world on fire, but I held my own. The year before in the Toyota series, like that's really all I did, 4th in angler of the year. And that was the first season that I really figured out, like, you just got to trust your gut. So I'm going back to my roots here. I'm just going to trust my gut and listen to the voices that God puts into my head, give those gut feelings. Every single time you get a gut feeling, that's God telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And I've been reluctant to listen this year, and it has showed. So that's what I'm going to do, just going back to trusting my gut, catching some bass, and getting after it. But yeah, we're going to dive in here, rig up some tackle, and I'll show you guys some of the things that I'll have rigged up. All right, just about done wrapping it up here in the boat. A lot more organized now. Got a couple rods here that I'll walk through you guys just to show you some staples that you need to have if you ever go up to La Crosse and go fishing. But let's start out with probably one of the funnest ways to catch a bass, largemouth and smallmouth. You need a topwater. So I got a walking bait on here, just a Vixen, 40-pound samurai braid, and high gear ratio reel, and just slinging this thing anywhere and everywhere, walking it through, and gosh, you get some awesome blow-ups on it. It's so much fun. But also, that being said, everybody throws this thing when you go to La Crosse, when you go to the Mississippi River. It's the old frog. You can't go to the upper Mississippi River without a frog tied on. Some heavy braid, that's 70-pound samurai braid. You gotta have a frog. I got a couple of them tied on, a couple different variations just to change it up, because these fish, they'll be pressured. They'll be pressured for sure. Obviously, heavy action rod. I'll go through all the setups and stuff another time, because Well, we need to do a wrap-up video, so I might as well do it then. But then I'll go through this setup real quick because this one's really cool. You got to have something to flip around, whether it's main river, backwater, cut banks, logs, you know, whatever it is. And my choice right here is the Ike Mini Flip. That's a 1/2 ounce. I got a D-bomb on the back of there. And it's the Living Rubber Missile Mini Flip. It's a new addition. Can't wait to try it out. I know these things are going to absolutely catch them. And I got that on 20-pound Cigar Fluoro. This is a Brazex. I got it on a 8.1 Tatula SV. And then the Ecos Hammer 7.3. It's a 7'3" heavy, fast, you know, just a broom handle for flipping, pitching. I'll cast this thing around. That's going to be a workhorse this week. I know it. And a lot of those river fish, they eat crayfish too. So that's going to get a lot of bites. 2 more. I'll go through 2 more real quick. I can't give it all away. Can't give it all away. But another thing that you need to have when you come to the upper Mississippi River, definitely around like the Crosse, actually anywhere there's current really, or anytime you're up north, is a swim jig. So I got right here, it's a Lethal Weapons 1/4 ounce swim jig. I got a Missile Baits Chunky D on the back, and that's the Zolo Toad Face. It's a 7.2 medium heavy, fast. It's 8-to-1 Tatula CT. Yeah, 20-pound fluoro. I think that's Invisex on. Yeah, that's Invisex on this one. A little more reaction baits. I like to throw the Invisex. It's got a little bit more stretch than the Abrazex, but that'll be tossed around a bunch this week too. Swim jig's always a guaranteed to get bites. Just got to put it in front of them. But last one that I will go through is a finesse setup. You got to have some sort of finesse setup, and my finesse setup of choice right here, the Cast Again tube in the leech color. This is on an ALX Zolo Mixed Smalls. It's a 7.6 1.5 light plus fast die with the Tatula NQLT 4000 size, and I have that with 10-pound Cigar. No, that's Invisex. 10-part in Invisex, and it's 8-pound J-braid on there. But you got to have something small to throw around too. I mean, a lot of current fishing is power fishing, but also you need to float your bait with the current and make it look more natural. So I like to throw those smaller tubes. They bounce around on the rocks. You get a lot of bites. So yeah, just about wrapping it up in here. I'm going to throw all these in the rod locker. I got some electronics work to do. I got to put my maps on my Garmin units here. I don't know if I really showed you guys my electronics setup, but I'm running 2 Garmin EchoMap 126 SVs at the console. And the live sonar rules just came out from Bassmasters. I'll do a whole nother video on that, my thoughts and everything. But if you can see it up there, there's 3 106 SVs on my front deck. On the Garmin Force trolling motor, I have 2 transducers, one in perspective and one in forward. The other one is up there for mapping in 2D. And yeah, that's my electronics setup, all powered by Pro Guide batteries and C-Clear power harness. Absolutely love this setup. It's been phenomenal. It is not the reason I have not been able to catch fish this year. I can tell you that much. But it's definitely top of the line stuff. I absolutely love the Garmin products. The C-Clear power harnesses are amazing, and those Pro Guides give it enough power all day long to keep my images nice and clear, maximizing my electronics, which is huge. Because we all spend a lot of money on these electronics. If you're not able to use them to their maximum potential, why are you even running them? Gonna get that done, do that, and then I'm gonna get out of here. But that's pretty much it for getting tackle ready and everything. We're about ready to head to La Crosse. Back on the road once again. I just got done weaving through all the north central back roads of Wisconsin. and we just got onto the highway on 39. We're a couple hours away from La Crosse, but yeah, ready to get over there and get practice going. It's going to be pretty interesting this time of year. I have had some fun over there in September, back when I fished a couple BFLs over there. Really looking forward to it. You know, it's river fishing. It's always a good time. You're always going to catch a bunch of fish. But I elected to skip the first day of practice, like I said, and I'm going to give it everything I got in the next couple days of practice, because this is my last opening for the year. So excited about it. Laker and I are probably going to hit a workout tonight before we go to Jeremiah's house. We're staying at the Shaver household this week. Super thankful for them to let us kind of take over their house. And Jeremiah's in the tournament, and he knows how to fish the river. So I don't know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to this week. This is where I'm going to leave you. Headed over to La Crosse for the last Bassmaster Open of my 2024 season. And it's been a long road, to say the least. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you to sum up practice for my last stop on the Bassmaster Opens in 2024.